Assalamu alaikum. So today we are going to see lab 5, which is part 2. We already know how to extract the data from the mock API and to clean the data and load the data in the SQlite database, which is like ETL pipeline. So here we are going to extract the real-time API. Example, I have taken a weather API and I have cleaned the data whatever in this weather API URL, and I load the data in the SQlite database. So for this we need the library request. Why we don't need Flask? Because I use the Flask library in the mock API program. If I want to have some mock API. If I want to give the produce some API from the web, I need the Flask. But now I don't need this Flask because I'm going to extract the data from real-time API. So in this case, I just install the libraries Pandas, SQlite, and we need this request. So what's the first step? The first step is we need to check this website, which there are a lot of websites which they provide you legally. You can extract the data from their APIs and it's a free. So we have limited for the free. So I can share with you a lot of websites. You can go through that. And now I have taken an example of the Open Weather Map website to extract the data from this API. So first step, I need to visit this website. So I copy this and here I just enter it with that URL. It's asked me to the username, enter email, password. So usually they ask us to create the account. So what I did is I created the account. There's no problem in this. I created with my Gmail. So I already created. So I just enter it here with my Gmail. I enter it with my Gmail. So I think I need the password. Okay, let me check. So this is my Gmail, which I successfully installed. So always in all the websites of the API websites where you can extract the data, you have something called API key. This is a very much important API key because we need to give this key along with the URL of Open Weather Map in the Python program. Then only it can extract the data. So when I click on API key, very first time, I found only this key with the status active and they have some like this. So I don't want to use this key. What I did is I just click on generate. And then I given some API key name. It's your wish. You can give any API. Suppose you can give any API key name. Here I given as Shaki, the previously which I used in the program. So here I want to give something a KPI key and then this is, but this API, whatever you have it, it shows active, but it will be originally active. Maybe you can try once you generate the API key and you can use it in the program and check it. And if you don't get the answer, you need to wait like 2 hours or one to 2 hours to get this API is active. Okay. So what I did is the first step. So this was my API previously I created for the Python program. So I just click on generate. This API was generated. So now I share the Python program here. So note it takes, so just try it. After generating API key, just try your program. Maybe if everything is very good, your ETL process is good, but it is not getting loading in the database. In this case, you need to wait. You need to wait till it gets active. So I waited nearly 2 hours yesterday and then today I tried. So this is the screenshot I attached here, how you need to do this. So now we come to the ATL script. So the first ATL script, as usual, we need the libraries. So here we need the libraries here, like we have request. So what is this library? It helps to fetch the data from the web API. I want to extract the data from this API key. So I need to install request. So once you install in the command prompt, you need to write import request. And we all know what is SQlite. We no need to install this in the command prompt. It enables the connection to the SQlite database. And then we have a pandas. It provides the data manipulations and transformation functions, all these. And we have something called OS, like it provides the functionalities to interact with the files and environment variable. But we didn't use all this in the script, even though for the safer side we use this. So first step, extract the data from the Open Weather Map API. So what we do here, so here I have a function def. I use the function fetch API data. So what is this function? What is the first step? I need to extract the data from the URL, the semi-structured data from this API. So this function will fetch the weather data from the API. So this is your API URL, and this URL break down to the many variables here. So this is a variable API URL. So I have here API endpoint of URL of Open Weather Map, which provides the weather data. Then I have something here, params, the queue, AP ID, units, all these. So what is this here? This is nothing but a dictionary containing the parameters which is sending to the API. So I want some parameters to be sent along with this URL. If you want to check in the Google Chrome whether your API your URL is working good or no, you need, suppose I copy this and I just click here. So now what happens? It doesn't work for me. This is the URL, but it is not the complete URL. To get the complete URL, we need some parameters like which city. You need to mention the city name and you need to give your API key. Whatever key you have created here I have a key like here. So you need to copy this key, copy, Control C, and come to the my program. You need to paste with the key what you generated. Don't use the same key. The problem is if many students is going to use the same key, it will be lock. Maybe the free time will be finished. So don't use the same key. This is my request. So you can generate a new key which I explained you before. So this is a unique key to access the API. And we have units. So what is this units? It requires the temperature. Like if I have a temperature, it must be like Celsius, or like instead of I don't want in the Kelvin, I want the temperature in Celsius, like 38 degree, 37 degrees. So I just put units in the form of metric. So these are the parameters. So now how can I check my program with this URL? You can check like this. For example, I just copy this. Yes, I'm going to put here and I just take this double quotes from this. And can you see this here? I just copy the parameters of Q equal to Riyadh from my program. Q, Riyadh, and app ID, your with your API key and units. So you need to give like this. Like for example, where is the Yes, you need to give like this. So when I click it, I get like this. So if you want this URL, I can give you in this commands to check the URL. Usually you need to check like this. Can you see this here? You need to give this URL with the parameters qreact, and you should use and symbol and API ID and units metrics. So if you give like this, you get these datas. So these datas I need to do the transformation, and then I need to load in the SQlite database. I hope it is clear up to this. So now we come here. What is meant by try? Try, we all know it's like a block which can handle the errors. So what type of errors it can handle? I just want to know, like, is there any problem in fetching the data from API, or it is successfully fetched? So in this case, I use this try. So always try begins with the try block. So here I have here request.get API URL params equal to params. So it calls the API with the parameter and store in the response like this, and store in the response this one. So what is API URL? Just here I have in this API URL variable the URL of API, but it doesn't work only with this. We need the parameters. Along with the parameters, I given here parameters, and it will call the API with the parameters and store the response in the response variable. So now raise for status. So what is this here? If there is any error like invalid API key, then it will stop the execution and shows the error message from this onwards. If there is any problem here, it will stop your execution and shows the error here. So this is what we given raise for status function. So why I put response dot? Because in the response, I'm getting the API URL along with the parameters. And then return response JSON. So I want the convert the API response text into Python dictionary, like which is in the JSON format. And then here except if an error happens, the program does not crash, and instead of that I want them to print the error message, like prints the error message like error fetching API data. So what is meant by except here? After I finish this, it is going to have here if an error happens, I don't want the program to get crash. Instead of this, I want the program to print the error message like there is an error in fetching the API data. So this is what we fetch. So I want, if it doesn't fetch properly, I want to there's two error messages here. The first error message is if there is any error in the key of my API or URL or in the parameters, then it will stop execution and show me the error message. Is that clear? Here, it will show me the error message. If not, after this, it is extracting the data from API. I want to convert this API, what I have in response, I have an API URL with the parameters. Whatever the text messages we have seen now, I shown you all this. I want to convert this to the API response into the Python dictionary. Again, if in any error happens in this conversion, I want to know like error fetching API data, otherwise return none. So next is I need to clean the data and pre-process the data here. So we all know this function is used to is used to clean and structures the API response. If no data is received from API, of course, if I have a problem in extracting a data from the API, then how can I clean? So I want to print the message. If not data was written from the API, then it stops the execution and then it will print no data received from API. So what is the necessary to give the error message in each and every line? Step 1, step 2. The reason is I don't want to, when I execute the entire program in the ETL, I want to know where the error is. Error is in my API URL or in the parameters or in the conversion to JSON pandas library or in the conversion of the, I'm sorry, not library, Python dictionary, or in the fetching the API data, or if no data has been received, then I should have that like no data received from API. Then it stops whenever there is an error message, print, it stops the execution. Okay, so now extracting the data. So how to extract the data? So what I have here, city, data, name. It is city name and it is temperature and it is humidity, it is pressure and it is description like weather condition. It's a clear sky or the rain like this. And then I have your timestamp. So what is the use of your timestamp function here? It stores the current timestamp. Is it clear? So these are the data we extract from API. So how can I write this program? What I know, what it is extracting, you need to check here. So what you can see here, you need to check here. So what you're extracting, understand me? So you need to check here and then you need to write what it is extracting. The from here I can extract the description, I can extract the humidity. You need here, I have your humidity, I have a description. Descriptions can be clouds, overcast clouds like this, and I have here like time zone which we have timestamp, and then I may have your city here. I have a temperature, and then what I have here, I have a country which is Saudi Arabia, or you can use the city name, no problem. Here I have a city name too. And I'm not extracting everything. I'm just I don't want everything to be stored in SQlite database. I'm just extracting your something like description I extracted, and humidity I extracted, and temperature I extracted, all these. Okay, so now coming to the program, I will explain you this again how you can write this relevant fields. Okay, and then so I want to, so PD data frame extracted data. So what is data frame? I want to convert whatever data you extracted into the structured table format, which is data frame. And then it prints the data cleaning complete if it's successful. Is it clear? And then I come to load the data in SQlite database. So here I have a load data to SQlite. So what data I'm going to store? I have a clean data in the variable df. So I can use this df here. So it takes the clean data as an input and store it in the SQlite database. So you need to mention your database name, the new name you can mention here, and the table name you need to mention which table. Is that clear? And then we all know this, like SQLite 3 connect the, we need the connection with the database name, and we know the connection cursor, it creates the cursor for executing the SQL commands. So now we have here cursor.execute. So if there is no need to create table, because if there is no table exists, it automatically creates. So here I give create table. I given here table name. So what is the table name here? I already mentioned the table name is weather. So here I gave city, whatever you're extracting. City, temperature, humidity, pressure, weather, timestamp. Then you need to create the table with all these fields. So here I create city, of course it's a text. Temperature, sometimes it comes in the real, I hope you all know this. And humidity, integer, pressure, integer, weather, text, and timestamp text. Then I come here at the last, it closes the database connection. After, I'm sorry, I think I left somewhere. After creating a table successfully, then it comes to here to insert the data. Yes, to insert the data, we all know df to SQL table name, all this we already have seen in the previous, I have explained you here. So here, and it's after the table is created successfully, and